Hey techies, welcome back to another video. And today we are going to start something very important in Java. First, we will be seeing access modifiers. After that, we will be seeing the functions. Functions are this called as methods as well. So here we are going to see about all of those things. By this end of this series, we will be writing clean and professional code using this functions and methods, and you will be get a good idea about what is access modifiers. All right, let's start with the basics. So first, what exactly is a function in Java? Let's imagine that you are making any food. Okay, in every day you want to do that. So you want to first note the steps like boiling water, like that. Those steps you will be do it. For example, let us take example of making tea. For making tea, in every morning you do some the same steps: boiling the water, adding tea leaves, after that adding milk and sugar and strain it. Now, instead of writing these steps in notes, you will do every day. You want to make a tea, so you can simply say that after a few time, wouldn't be easier that just say to make chai? That's exactly the function. So it is a function is a reusable block of code. It will perform a specific task, and in Java we also call them as methods. So first let us see the syntax of it. So first, basic syntax of methods. So first, return type. After that, function name. Within the function name, we have to give parameters. After that, return value. Before that, there is a space for code to be executed. So this is the basic syntax. See here, first return type. The return the value that you are going to return in which data type. That is nothing but return type. After that, the name of the function, and some value you are going to give to this function, that is called as parameters, and this is the value you are going to return to this. The both data type of this values have to be matched. This is the data type, and this data have to be in the same data of this data type. So first let's break it down. That is, this return type is nothing but what type of data the function will give back. For example, integer, string, or void. So you may ask, what is this void? Okay, this is the void. So this void will return nothing. It doesn't need to return anything. Okay. After that, a function name. This function name is nothing but the name that we will be giving to our function. After that, these parameters, the input values, we will be passing on to the function. And one more thing, this can be optional. After that, the return value, the value we send it back if the return type is not void. If it is void, we will not returning any value. Okay. So first, see, there are four types, that is with parameters and with return type. This is first one, without parameters and with return type. Okay. After that, these parameters also these parameters are also called as arguments. Okay. So here, let's see what are the types that can be given. That is, first one, no arguments, no return type. After that, no arguments but return. After third one, that is arguments with no return type. Arguments with return type. Okay. One first thing is return type and arguments, and no return type and arguments, no arguments and return type, arguments, non-return type. Like this, there are four things. So we'll be seeing all of them. So first, let us write a basic method. So one more thing is there that our method or a function have names have to be something that is related to the content that we are given into the code. For example, let us write our first code. That is, before that we already know this access modifiers. I'll explain it very detailed in this session. So first, I'm giving public and static and void. This is the data type. That is the return type that we are giving. That is void. So I don't want any returning values. So I'm naming it as greetings. I didn't give any values inside this parameters. It is a no parameter. So after that, our code, that is hello. So one more thing, we can't give one method inside another method. Okay, this is one method and this main method is another method. Okay, we have to call this method that is outside the outside the main method have to be called inside this method. So let us call this. So for calling it, we just need to give the name of the function with parentheses. If you have to give any values, for example, if I give any values, for example, int a. So here I have to give any values. For example, I'm giving 2. So it won't do anything right now. So I'll just remove because I don't want to give any parameters here. So this is the code. This is a method that it can be called how many times I want. I don't need to write these many set of codes. For a single line of code, you may think I can write, but for a set of functions, for example, if you want to find factorial for a number, if you want a single number, that time you can write the problem. But if you want to calculate it for multiple problems, then that time you just create it and call it whenever you want. So if I call this function these many times, then it will be simply call this function these many times. So it's working. So it is printing these many times. So first I'll remove this. So let us run it once. So this is what doing is what this is doing is it is calling the function. This is a function that is used to print some greetings. So first what happens is that when we run this program, first the Java virtual machine will always come to this main function. After that, it will compile one by one code. So first, for example, if I give any printing statement here, starting of the program, after that, I'll copy this and adjust. I'll change. It is our ending. So it is starting of the program and this is the ending of the program. In here, first the compiler will come to this line and it will print it. So in the compiler, it will be print this starting of the program. After that, it will call this function, this greet. So when this is called, the compiler will go to this line. After it will be get into this function and it will do the operations within that function. So it is just a printing statement. So it is printing. So we got hello here. So if I run it, see here starting of the program and this hello and the ending of the program. So it jumps to the greet function it whenever it reaches the calling function. So it will be execute the code inside it the function. After executing this code, it will come back to the main function here and do the program. It will not read this file. The Java virtual machine will always come to the main function, that is the starting of the program. So see here, the void means our function doesn't return anything. Okay, it just do some actions. So in the main function also we will use void, so we will not return anything. So now make some our functions that is more flexible using some parameter. Okay, for example, in this greet, I'll give some string. For example, let us give name here. After that, this is the starting of the program. So let us move on to this line. So first, I'll import the scanner class object. Scanner so equals new scanner system dot in import java dot util package. I'll import all the fields. So now we want the input from the user. So I'll get the input from the user. So for that, enter your name. So after that, we have to get it. So I'll create a string variable. So name, the string name is one dot next line. So I have to give the value inside this calling function. So after calling, I want to print hello is name. After that, nice to meet you. So this is a function. In this function, you will enter your name. It will return the output. So it is one of the type, that is before that we have seen no argument, no return type. It is argument with no return type. Okay, let us run it. So enter your name. My name is, I'll give so it says hello Iron Man, nice to meet you. So in here I have to give some space. So let us run it. So it says hello and the name that we are giving as an input from the user, and it says nice to meet you. So here you. Hello Thomas, nice to meet you. So this is getting the input from the user and giving it to the value to the function. So now this function can access this data which is given it as a parameters. It can't use this. If I give any values, like it can't use this name. Okay, we are giving this to this. After that, it will go. For example, if I give string So like this, we can only give variable here, or else if we just give, it won't work. So that time we just need to give a data type after the value, that is a variable that will store the value. So after that we have to call it. So this is a function that have one parameter. A function can have multiple parameters. So let us create it, the function. So I'll create another function, that is method public. I want a static method. I don't want to create any object here. So I'll explain why we are using objects here. So public static. So again I'm using void. I don't want to return anything. So after that I'll print something called introduction. So introduction, within that I'll give the name, string name. After that I want to give my age. Okay, this is multiple parameters. So in here I'll call that we just need to print, right? So I'm printing my name is the name. After that, and I'm age plus years old. So let us call here that I'm giving int age equals s1 dot next int. So the I have to be in capital. So after that, just remove it, introduce introduction of name and age. So I'm giving two parameters inside this calling function. So I'll run it. It's asking for name and giving from and 15 years old. See here, my name is Tom and I am 15 years old. So we can give multiple arguments within this method, or we can also ignore every parameters. For example, we can also don't need to give any values inside it. Okay, so we have created this method until you call you. For example, if I didn't call this method, it will not work. It is just a empty lines. It won't throw any errors, nothing. So it will just do these methods. So let us run it. So I'm giving name as name Tom. After that, age something 12. So it is starting and the ending of the program. So nothing is happening. So if and only if you call this function, then only it works. Or else it will be a set of code that won't work, nothing. So now, so far our functions were just printing things. But what if that we want them to calculate something and give us back to the result? So we will see about some returning values. Okay, so I'll remove this code, just the main class. Within that, I'll create the main function because it is the starting of every program. So after that, let us see. First, I'll create some scanner class object. So I'm creating a scanner class object. After that, let us do some mathematical operations like multiplication, addition, division, like those things we'll do. So for that, we will get in a equals x1 dot next in. So before that, we'll just use some printing statement. Enter the first number, and I don't want it to go to the next line. So enter the second number. For that, I'll name it as b. So now we got two values. So after that, we'll create some methods for that. It is public and static. So first we are doing addition. So we are doing integer addition. So I want integer value in the return type. So int, I'm using add. Within that, we want to add two numbers. So int a and int b. Okay. So now we can say simply return a plus b. So it will return the value of the sum of these numbers. So let us try here that first I'll declare one variable in result equal. So here add a and b. Okay, we are adding it and printing it. Okay, now we'll just do one thing, that is just print it. So now let us run it. So here I'll give 23 and 35. So it returns 58 as the output. So what is happening, when it reaches this line, it will go here and it will return the value, and I am storing this in this variable and printing it. If you don't store it, nothing will happen. So for example, if I remove this line, so if I am just calling it, there is no space that it could store the output. So for example, 12, 12, so nothing is happening. So instead of that, you can do one more thing, that is you can return there, or else you can just print there. That is print a plus b. If you want, you can add it here and print it using another printing statement. But most of the time, we won't be printing there itself. We'll just return it. After that, we'll add it. So let us write one more function for multiplying. So for that, public static int multiply. Okay, I'm giving int a and int b. Here, return a multiplied by b. So we are just doing it. Just multiply. So after that, we are giving values. Before that, I'll store it. So now, just print it. So let us run it. First number is 3 and second number is 4. Output is 12. So now we got the output for multiplying the two numbers. So this is a simple method that we can call multiple times. The main use of the function is that we don't need to write the set of code again and again. Instead of that, we can simply call it. For example, I want one more function that I could check if it is a even or not. For that, public, after that, static. Now I want to check boolean because it can be true or false. Because it is even or odd, so I'm just using boolean here. I'm checking is even. So I'm giving a single number. So return, I can simply say return there are two possibilities here. This one is return a modulus 2 is equal 0. If it is even number, it will return true. If it is odd number, then it will return false. Or else you can simply do one more thing, that is like this also you can do, that is a modulus 2 equals 1. After that you can use not. So it also works that if it is even number, then it will become false. So that time not operator will be true. So it is if it is even. Okay. So for that you can change this to 0 and remove this not operator. So a modulus 2 equals 0. So it is true. If it is even, it return true. If it is false, it will return nothing. So for example, let us check it here, that if I can call it is even of 10. If 10 is even, I want to print 10 is even, or else 10 is odd. We know that 10 is an even number, so it will check if it is divisible by 2. If it is divisible by 2, then it will print 10 is even. So let us check it. So I am giving the number. Is not needed here because it will do multiplication for that. So 10 is even. So what we are doing, we are writing a method that is used for checking if a number is even or not. So we have seen no parameters and no return type, parameters and no return type, and parameters and return type. So we have seen literally every method that we are having. So one more thing is there, that is no parameters and a return type. That means we don't need to give any value inside this parameter and we will return something. So the main things that the function is returns is you have to store it in a variable. For example, let us go down here. So here I have stored in a variable. So main thing that is you have to store it in a variable, and or else you have to use it directly like this. Okay, I have used within the if condition, or else we can pass it to other conditions, other expressions or other functions. So the basic level is you have to practice these many functions, and after that you have to solve it according to that. So now we will see about the static event. So I have given statics here, but in the multiplication, if I remove static, then see here We got a error here. Non-static method. Okay. If you are using a non-static method, we have to create a object. For that, first the class name. You know how to create an object. So here itself we have created first the class name. After that, the object name. So I'm naming it as obj equals new the class name. After that, for. So now I can simply say object dot multiply. So see here now it is doesn't showing any error. So the main purpose of the static keyword is if you are using a static method or static any values, then that time you don't need to create this class object. You can simply run it. But if you are using non-static, that time you have to create objects. See here, I'm giving some number. So I didn't get any errors. So if I remove this object, I'll get error. So if I run it, let us see some errors will be shown. It is a non-static method multiply int of int data type. Okay. If you want to call any methods, so that's why the main function is always in the static. We don't need to create any object class for that. So that's why it is not created. So if you want, you have to create one more object class and you have to call it. But the Java compiler will be directly calling it. So that's why it is in a static. So if you want to use a method without static keyword, that time you can simply create an object for that same class which you are using and created a method. And in the main class, I have created this method. So I'm using this main class as a class to create a main class object and object dot, see here, object dot the method name and after that some values. So we'll see some more problems. So I'll remove all of this code. So first thing is I want to import the util class, util package. After that, the class, public class main. One more thing is that you can create multiple classes within the same file. But if you want to access it, the main thing is the main class must be public anywhere. You can't give it as class like this. So remove this public, it won't run. The main thing is we have to give the class it as public. So after that, public static void main. We already seen what is this string array also for. It will store the data that is given to the terminal and after that we can access it. So now first I will import the scanner class object, scanner s1, new scanner. So I have imported the scanner class object. So now I want two integers or else a single number. So I'm just naming it as number s1 dot next. So this is a number that I am getting from the user. So now I want to write a method that is used for checking the squares of a number. Okay, for that public static, because I don't want to create any object, square, I want to give an integer. So one more thing is that before that we have to give the data type, so it should be integer. So here see that this is number and this is e, because it will not throw any errors. It is a name that we are going to use inside it. So it is a name that we are going to give the value as the parameter. So these both are disconnected. We can give any name. For example, we can simply give number 234 like that. It is also a variable name. So like that, we can give any name we want. So I'm just naming it as A. So here, the square of a number is nothing but the number is multiplied with the same number. For example, 2 squared is 2 times of 2. 5 squared is 5 times of 5. Okay, 5 cross 5. So just A star A. This is the method for square of a number. So just we can use directly printing that square of number is square of this number is, we have to call it, we can even call it within the printing statement, square of this number. Okay, so let us run it. In here we have to give, so 5 square is 25, the square of 5 is 25. So this is a basic problem that is used for checking the square of a number. So we can write multiple problems. So for that, I'll write another method, public static int within a two numbers. I want to find the maximum number. So for that, I'm naming it as find max. So make sure the naming convention always be should like this. Int a, int b. Two values. If a is greater than b, I can simply return a as larger value. Or else I can return b. Okay. If a is greater than b, I can return a, or else I can return b. So let us check with using these two numbers. So to get num2, so I'll just remove this line. So I'll print. We are checking find max. So now we have called this method. So before that, I'll print something. The largest number is the maximum number of these two numbers. So if I run it, I give some two values, 23 and 45. So the largest number is 45. So a function can have multiple returns. You can even give multiple return statements, but when it reaches the return statement, that is the end of the function. If it is true, this program is stopped there itself and return the value. Or else we have already seen about ternary operator that we can use here, that return if a greater than b. Then I can return a. If it is false, I can return b. So this is the ternary operator, a condition, question mark. If it is true, this is executed, or else if it is false, this will be executed. So the syntax is condition, after that a question mark, true expression and false expression. Okay, if this condition is true, this will be executed. If this is false, this will be executed. So this is a ternary operator. Instead of if else, we can simply use this. So let us run it again. So here I'll give some value 24 and 54. Largest number is 54. It is also working correctly. So let us see some more problems here. So for that, we'll get the string length. So public static void or else int, we are getting the integer because of the length. So string, so strlen. So within this, I'll use string str. So here I want to check the length. So return string dot length. Now it will return the size of the string. So I'll comment this line. So after that, I'll use one more printing statement. So in this statement, the length of this string is, so let us use string length. Within that, some value. So let us check. So first we have to give some two inputs for this numbers. Then the length of the string is 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the current length of the string is 11. We are getting it from the method that is strlen, string length. So we will be converting Celsius to Fahrenheit next. So for that, so I'll comment this line. So then again, we'll write another method. So for that, public static after that, we are returning double because we are converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. So it should be in double. So after that, I'm just changing it C to F. That is Celsius to Fahrenheit. So after that, we'll be giving double value, that is in Celsius. We have to convert it. There's a formula for it. That is Celsius multiplied by 9 divided by 5. After that, it will be added with 32. If you use this formula, you will get convert Celsius into Fahrenheit. So let us check here. So let us give some input, that is number. Okay, first we have to call the function. So I just need one function. So I'll comment this line. So I will use double here. Double Celsius equals S1 dot next double. So after that, I just call it. So S out C2F of Celsius. So let us stop and rerun it. So I'll give 39 degrees Celsius, 39.5. So it is 103.1 Fahrenheit. So this is how you will be converting. So let us check for 25. So it should return around 77, 25 degrees Celsius. So it is 77. So we have seen that there are four types, that is no parameter, no return value, and with parameter and no return value, and no parameter and return value, and with parameter and return values. So let us see some four examples for in a set of code. So for that I'll remove all of this. So we don't need any scanner class in this. So first class public class main. So within this main class, we have to give the methods. So first, the main method. So let us create first no parameter and no return type. So for that, I'll create one more method, public static void. So for example, just greetings. So this is no parameter. We didn't give any parameters and we didn't return anything. So the next one, that is with parameters and no return. So for that, public static void, because no return. So after that, print. Within this, we'll give some value. For example, some age. After that, and age years old. So we are given parameters with no return type. So now we'll be doing no parameters but return type. Okay. For that, we'll use some value, that is public static. So get, I'm using just get message. There is no parameter here. So I'll just return. So we have to give the return type. So it is string. So I'll return hello. You got the message. So this is the string with no parameter. So now let us see, that is the final one. The most of the time we will be using this only, that is with parameters and return type. Public static void, just use add a plus b. So int a and int b. So within here you have to print it, that is you have to return a plus b. So this void, this return type, so integer. So we have created all four types of these methods. So now let us call all of them. So as we know that the main method is the starting point of this program. So for that, first type 1, that is no parameters and no return type. We'll just call it. We have used greet here. So after that, type 2. So for that, we have used print here. So print. So we have to give age here. That is 21. So after that, type 3. So the type 3 is, we have given no parameter but return values. So we have to store it here because it is a return type. So string message is that is we have given get message and we will be printing it. So the type 4 is, I'm giving two values. So for that, first I have to store it, and I'll add two numbers. Add 20 and 34. So I'll print result. So now let us run all of the methods. So we'll get around 4 outputs. So we got 4 outputs. Those are hello, and this is 21 years old, and hello, you got the message, and 54. So we are seeing all 4 methods. So these are the basic functions with 4 types we will be seeing, and for the next video we will be seeing around the access modifiers and method overloading, method overriding, and after seeing this we will be seeing some recursion problems. So now let us create some more functions to solve the problems. So now I am going to write a program for finding the second largest element in an array. So let us remove this. So after that, remove. First, we have to import the scanner class. After that, I am importing scanner class object. So I'll create one array. First, I'll get size s1 dot next end. After that, let's create an array with the size of n. After, get inputs in the for loop. Array of I is s1 dot next end. So we have stored an array. So now we have to print the second largest element in the array. So for that, I'll create one more method. Public static. I want to return the index of the element. So int second largest. So after that, the within the parameters, we have to give the array. That is int array. So now first let us declare that first largest equal to the minimum value. For that, we have to use the wrapper class object. So it will now store the minimum value. So anyway, we have to return the maximum value. So that's why we are initially storing with the minimum value. So after that, the second largest integer dot again min value. So let us iterate through the array for number in the array. So now if my current number is greater than the first, that I can say that the second value is, then our first largest will be become second largest. After changing it, I can change the first value is the current number. Now both of them are swapped, or else the number is greater than second value and the number is less than the first value. It is also the second largest number. So second equals number. So after that, we have to return the number in the array. So here it is second. So we are returning the second largest number in the array. We are not returning index value. We will be directly returning the element within it. So now we can print the second largest element in the array is here I have to call the function. So second largest, I'm naming it the array. So now let us print it. So it's passing. So the array size is 5. So 23, 45, 43, 67, and 63. So the second largest element in the array is 63. So the second largest element in the array is 63. So now let us see another some problems, that is rotating array by k elements or k positions. So let us do one more thing. So now I don't want to call this function. So we are getting the array. So I'll create one more method. It is public static. So now we will not return anything because we are just going to do operations within the array. So void, after that rotate. Within that we have to give the array. So I name it rotate left. So after that, so within this we will be giving the array and the key. That is how many elements we have to rotate. So after that, so now we got the array. So first we have to find the length. So array dot length. So now we got the length here. So now first what we have to do, we have to rotate the array by 0 to k minus 1 elements. After that k to n minus 1 elements. After that we can entirely reverse it. For that, first reverse the array. After that, and initially starts from 0 to k minus 1. So again I am reversing. In this, I'll starts from the next element to n minus 1. So first I am rotating k elements, reversing k elements. So here, if it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am rotating by 2 elements, first 0, 1, 2, okay, that means 0, 1, and 2. So I am giving 2 here, 2 minus 1 is 0, 1. The 2 elements will be reversed. After that I am reversing all other elements, that is 5, 4, 3. Now if I reverse this array, I'll get 3, 4, 5, 1 and 2. So this is the desired output. So let us see here. So after that, reverse the array. After that, 0 to n minus 1 for reversing the entire array. So let us check it. So before that, I have to get the input from the user. So I'll stop. In here, we want k as well. So in k, this one dot next end. After getting it, I want to do the operation, that is rotate the array by k elements. After that, I want to print it. So here I am using arrays dot toString, and after that I am printing the array. So now let us check it. The input is first we have to give the array size, that is 5. After that, the elements in the array by k elements. So we got the output. So this is how we will be rotating the elements by k. So now let us move on to the next problem. We are going to move all the zeros in array to the end. For that, I am creating one public static. So we just need to move it. So void, after that, so I'm naming it as move zeros. Within that we have to give the array. So int array. So in this we are going to move the elements within the array. So for that, first I'll declare one index for the first element, that is position is 0. So it starts from the array, the 0 index. So in I value is 0, after that I less than array dot length, and I will be incremented by 1 every time to move on to the next element in the array. If current element in the array is not equal to 0, so now I can swap it to the first position. So I'll increment the index after changing it. So I'm using here, that is array of I. Okay, if my current element is not 0, I'll initialize it with the first element. So after that, I'll use one while loop while my position is less than the array dot length. So that time my array of position plus plus. So I'll just change it. So this for loop is for checking it, and this while loop is for adding the value of 0 after it. So within this, we have to initialize 0. So this for loop is for changing the elements, and this for loop is for initializing the elements with the value of 0. What we are doing, this value is checked if the current element is 0 or not. If not, it will be initialized with the next index. If it is 0, it will be thrown out. So and I will be incremented every time. So let us do this here. So first we have to just remove this method and call move zeros of current array, and we are going to print the array. So let me run it. 8 0 1 2 0 7 0 2 0 3. So here, as you can see, first it take 5 as an input, so that's why it is 5. So let us run it. So let me give 8 and 0 1 2 4 0 4 and 3. So it wants some more input 8 0. So here it moves all the 0 to the end of this array. There are 2 zeros here. So there are 7 elements, and this is 8 elements. In these 8 elements, the zeros only will be changed. This elements inside it will not arrange according to the values. The zeros only move to the end of the array. So let us write one more problem, that is, in an array we have to find a missing number. A missing number is, for example, if an array that is 1 2 4 5 6, we know that 3 is missing. That is what we are going to do. So for that, I'll create one more string, that is one more method, public and static. We want to return the number, so int, I'm naming it as find. So here we will give the array, so integer array. In this array we are going to check the missing number. So as you can see, this number is in order. So here, as you can see, the array of size is n. That means there are 5. So there must be one missing element. So that is 6. So here I have to check that n equals n plus 1. So int n equals array dot length. So this is the array dot length, but there is one missing number. So I want to add one more number. So we know that the sum of n number is, there's a formula for it. So the expected output is n multiplied by n plus 1 divided by 2. So the actual value we have is, initially it is 0, so we have to add it for int number in the array actual plus equals the current number. So now we got the expected and the actual number. So the expected must be always greater because there will be a missing number. So return expected number minus actual number. So I won't call this function. I won't call this k here. We just need to print the missing element. So find the array. Let us check. So now I will give the size is 5. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So the missing number is 3. So again I will give 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the missing number is 7. So this is how we will be calculating among which is using the sum of n numbers problem. So we will see one more problem, that is we will be checking if the array is sorted or not. So for that I'll create one more method, public static. After that boolean, because it will return true or false, is sorted integer array. So in this, first we'll iterate through the array for int I value is 0 and I less than, so array dot length minus 1 and I plus plus. So after here I want to check if my current element is greater than the next element, it is not sorted. So that's why I have given I minus 1, because when it reaches the last element, it will check the next element to it, but there is no element. So if you do I minus 1, that means it will check previous element, and previous plus 1 will become the last element. So I can say return false. If not, I can return true. So let us go here and check. So I don't want this, I want to check that if it is sorted or not. So the size is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it is sorted. So 5, I'll use. So it says it is false because it is not sorted, 8 is in there. So that's all for today's video. We have seen about functions. So make sure to solve every problem and make sure to subscribe to this channel so you won't get miss any videos if I post. So that's all. We'll be seeing inner concepts of access modifiers in the next video. So make sure to follow along with this. Thank you.